Nearly 2,500 people attended the opening night gala for the 21st annual Meet the Artists exhibit at Central Library. Works of prominent African American artists are on display during the regular hours of Central Library through March 28th. The evening featured a variety of cultural entertainment and an opportunity to talk with the artists and admire their works in a variety of mediums.
Actually, I sketched this piece out in my intention really was not to produce something that was, as elaborate as this is. I just wanted pretty much a doodle. I was doodling. But eventually it started to take on a life of its own. And of course, I started thinking about where you come from. Of course, you have the fruit of the womb up here. You have the breast which nurtured us from birth. You have the eggs for fertility. And, at times, we find ourselves in a cocoon where we, somewhat restricted, but in, going through, difficulties and we learn certain lessons. And once we've learned those lessons, we grow and eventually we spread our wings and we move to another metamorphosis, which is why this is, called Metamorphosis. I love jazz and I was listening to some jazz music and it inspired me. Well, this is one of those pieces that just came out randomly. And I put, pen to paper, in this case, pen to tablet, and I started drawing. I had no idea what direction I was going in. I didn't care. I just wanted something to come about naturally. And the music I was listening to actually, inspired the colors, it inspired the shape, it inspired the motion, and everything you see in it. And a few hours later, ended up with this digital piece.
This conceptual ideal of the nebula, the first Hubble telescope pictures that was taken back in the 70s, and they did a beautiful, beautiful picture of the nebula. And this is called gestation within the nebula. As the stars and the planets are being birthed and born there, we actually made a representation of the same thing as Earth being born into our solar system, based upon the same concept of, birth being born throughout the whole universe. So it's made out of wood and foam. We wanted to kind of give it a really good organic form, the way that you actually see the nebulas being born. So the organic form represents that, things are always in motion, things are always being created at the same token. What we ended up doing, we did these dodecahedron spheres, as you see in here, and that represents the embryo and the fetus coming down to the solar system. And my friend Onye Ndika, she actually collaborated with me on this piece. We actually, really worked side by side with kind of thinking about the whole process of doing it, thinking about where to embed the pieces that we wanted to get embedded in there. And also, she created these beautiful jewelry pieces of the stars and of the planets. If you really can get a good look at these beautiful, beautiful jewelry planets that she created. And she is a bead jewelry designer. Beautiful work, so yes, we put our heads together with that. And,
I started with an actual plaster. And it turned out that I did everything wrong because I knew it was my first time actually doing it. So then I had to actually create her in styrofoam. And I created the piece in styrofoam, and then you actually do what's called negative sand molding. So then you actually use sand, wet sand with chemicals, and you build a little wooden box, and then you pack the sand in, and then you lay your piece in, your mold, and then you cover it with more sand, you flip it over, and you get to do it over the next day. It's a forever process, but it's a lot of fun. And then once your mold is created, we actually have an iron pour. There was an iron pour at the Indy Art Center where I'm actually a member. And I've never done this before, but anyone can actually do it. It's a long process and it's tedious, but it's loads of fun, and there's lots of people there to help you with it. But basically, you build kind of like a coffin. You get your mold going, and then you have an iron pour where we actually take iron chips of metal, iron, and then coal. We use coal, which is actually called coke. And you put the coal and the coke and the iron in the hot fire, and then it melts, and then they actually pour it into your molds. Yeah, so it was a work of love, I should say, and I'm really, really blessed that a dream has come true in order for me to produce works of art.
The Meet the Artists Gala was made possible with the generous support of One America. Again, the Meet the Artists exhibit is on display at Central Library through March 28th. This event is sponsored by the library's African American History Committee.